Drama unfolds on the track as top riders face the consequences of qualifying mishaps in the Australian MotoGP. Imagine the high-stakes world of MotoGP, where every split-second decision can make or break a rider's race day. This weekend at Phillip Island, the FIM Stewards dropped some surprising penalties on two standout competitors, Francesco Bagnaia and Brad Binder, each getting a three-place grid drop for Sunday's main event. But here's where it gets controversial. Are these punishments too lenient, or do they perfectly capture the spirit of fair play in a sport where obstructing rivals can shatter dreams? For newcomers to the thrilling world of motorcycle racing, let's break it down step by step to understand the buzz. It all started in qualifying, that nail-biting session where riders push their bikes to the limit to secure the best starting positions. Binder, the talented South African on the KTM team, found himself in hot water during qualifying one when he obstructed Johann Zarco, the fiery French rider who's no stranger to heated on-track battles. Picture this: Zarco, fuming and frustrated, was forced to slow down or take evasive action, ultimately landing him in 15th place on the grid. On the other hand, Bagnaia, the reigning world champion piloting a Ducati, was penalized for a similar issue in qualifying too. He was riding slowly on the racing line, think of it as the ideal path through corners, and inadvertently disturbed his good friend and teammate, Marco Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi, undeterred, still managed to mount an impressive challenge for pole position, only losing out to Fabio Quartararo by a razor-thin 0.031 seconds. And this is the part most people miss. Despite the chaos, both incidents were deemed first offenses, meaning the riders hadn't crossed this line before, which might explain why the penalties weren't harsher. Interestingly, Luca Marini, who was right in the thick of the Bagnaia-Bezzecchi tangle at the infamous Turn 4 Miller corner, escaped any repercussions. This raises eyebrows. Could it be a case of selective policing, or was Marini's involvement deemed insignificant? Fans and experts alike might debate whether the stewards got it right. For a full rundown of how everyone stacked up, check out the 2025 Australian MotoGP qualifying results at Phillip Island. Now, let's talk grid positions, because that's where the rubber really meets the road. Without the penalties, Bagnaia would have started 11th, but he'll now line up 14th. Binder drops from 13th to 16th. For beginners, the grid penalty means a worse starting spot, which can drastically affect a rider's race strategy, as overtaking in MotoGP is tough and time-consuming. These drops only apply to the main Grand Prix race, set to kick off an hour later than originally planned. Another twist in the day's schedule. Crucially, they won't impact Saturday's sprint race, where shorter distances and high-octane action often lead to unpredictable results. But wait, there's more intrigue. Binder also faced an investigation after Aprilia stand-in Lorenzo Savadori crashed following a near miss with the back of Binder's KTM in qualifying one. Savadori, stepping in as a replacement, avoided a collision, but ended up off the track. Shockingly, no further action was taken on this front. Is this a missed opportunity for stricter oversight, or was it just an unfortunate accident in the heat of battle? Opinions could split here. Some might argue for zero tolerance on dangerous maneuvers to keep everyone safe, while others see it as part of the sport's inherent risks. Adding to the Ducati dominance narrative, Saturday marked one of their toughest qualifying sessions in recent memory. Gresini's Alex Marquez, hungry to solidify his second-place standing in the World Championship over Bagnaia, led the Desmosedici charge in 6th position. This championship subplot adds layers of excitement, with Marquez eyeing the podium and Bagnaia clawing back. Every grid spot counts in the fight for supremacy. For context, imagine how a single penalty could tip the scales in a title race that's as tight as a championship battle can get. So, what do you think? Are these three-place penalties a fair way to uphold the rules, Or should MotoGP stewards crack down harder on qualifying disruptions to prevent future frustrations? Do you side with Zarco's disappointment, or see these incidents as inevitable in such a competitive sport? And what about that Savadori crash? Should it have resulted in more consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on this MotoGP saga.